when you get the water that you really start to question your life decisions. Hey, satellite radar is still tracking some pretty light showers out across portions of Eddy County and farther off to the east. None of this is heavy by any means. As far as Otero County goes, you had some heavier showers linger a few hours overnight. As of right now, these are falling apart, so that's good news there. I was concerned about the flooding, but I think as of right now, it's not going to be too much of an issue for you for the morning commute. Out towards Roosevelt County, we are almost done. We have one little piece of that storm still lingering out in the southeastern corner of the county. That's almost out of here and into West Texas. So we're going to start with pretty quiet conditions elsewhere. That includes the Albuquerque metro. Sunny sky on top, 64 degrees. East-southeast winds only at 5 miles per hour. Winds really won't be a problem today. They're going to stay between about 5 to 15 out of the west. Temperatures across the state, I would say the majority of us in the 50s and 60s. There's a few warmer out over the southeastern plains in the 70s, and then 40s up in Alamosa. But a light jacket is all the kids will need walking to the bus stop this morning. It is going to be another warm one, and maybe some sunscreen too, because we have plenty of sunshine in that hourly forecast. High temperatures today in the upper 80s to low 90s, pretty close to where we should be for this time of year. Forecast highs across the state. Go ahead and pick out your neighborhood. More than likely, you're in the 80s and 90s. Not a whole lot of variation there with the temperatures. But yesterday, I was showing you the water vapor imagery caught by our satellites. This little yellow splotch is showing the drier air. It is a lot closer to us this morning than what we had yesterday. So as that drier air gets closer and closer to us and eventually kind of sits on top of the state, that's going to limit our rain chances, and that happens starting today. As far as the overall setup goes, that drier air is coming in from the west-southwest. So when it comes to the rain chances, I'm not expecting much over western New Mexico at all. Maybe the southwestern mountains have just enough to fire a few spot storms, but because we have drier air moving in on top too out west, I don't think we're going to see much. It's mainly across eastern New Mexico where we have just enough moisture in place to keep in some spotty to scattered storms. But even through Wednesday, I mean, as that drier air slowly takes over the state, we're going to be talking lots of sunshine and fewer storms. Problem being, we still have potential for some strong to severe storms out across northeast and east central New Mexico. Two top threats will be large hail as well as damaging winds. But like what we had yesterday, we had a tornado warning issued in portions of Union County. Tornadoes not impossible, even in August here in New Mexico. Since we've been writing this stuff down the last 50 years, we've had 56 reported tornadoes here in New Mexico. So it's something to watch for. We have a little bit of a spin here in New Mexico, or in the eastern side of the state when it comes to the overall setup. But I think hail and wind by far will be a bigger issue. Southern Colorado, not likely to see much in the way of rain today, just some warm temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Mostly dry over the northwest too. Highs in the 70s and 80s for the Four Corners. Southwest, looking at high temperatures in the 80s and 90s today. A few spot storms if we're lucky, but the drier air definitely taking over midweek. Out over the southeast, some spotty storms today. Highs in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Northeast, likely to see some of those stronger storms near the state line. Highs in the 80s and 90s up here. Northern Mountains, a little cooler. Widespread 70s and 80s with a few spot storms left over today. East Mountains, looking at a mostly sunny sky. Stray storm if we're lucky, but in general it's going to be pretty dry as we head into midweek. Metro, sunshine today. High temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. I've dropped the rain chances out of the forecast for now. I think the drier air is just too strong, and it's going to take over through Friday before we start to see another pattern change here, and our rain chances come back by Sunday. So, of course, if there's any changes, we will let you know.
Just say I'm loving the temperatures, though.
Yeah, not too bad for August, for sure.
Thanks, Kristen.